This is the Horse Radio Network. This is episode 316 of Horse Tip Daily, a different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you one day at a time. Today's tip is sponsored by FeedXL. You can find them at feedxl.com. Hi, Glenn the Geek back with you from Lexington, Kentucky, and you're listening to Horse Tip Daily. Well, I'm finally getting my voice back a week after the World Equestrian Games flu hit, so hopefully it'll stay that way now, and I'll actually be able to speak again. And I'm sure you'll be happy to hear me without my flu voice. Everybody I've talked to that went to the World Equestrian Games ended up with the World Equestrian Games flu. We're calling it the WEG flu. I have a friend who has 10 kids. 9 of them have it, and they went to the World Equestrian Games. So anyway, we're all battling that, those of us that were there. Apparently it happens almost every World Equestrian Games and Olympics, is there's something that goes around. This one was especially viral, I think. Well, we're thrilled to have with us back today Jackie Baker, who stayed at my house for a week during the World Equestrian Games, who writes a blog called regardinghorses.com. I met Jackie some time ago when we were doing the Stable Scoop show, and we've become friends ever since then. Her blog is one of the best in the industry, in the horse world. It's, as I said, called regardinghorses.com. And Jackie also works for a company that specializes in helping websites do better on SEO, which is search engine optimization. In other words, getting your website up in rankings on Google, getting you off the 10th page and onto the first page, and hopefully onto the first slot. So that's what her company specializes in. She's a very bright girl, and she stops by to give us blogging tips occasionally, and we're happy to have her today for that. But first, one of the things that we're all worried about is our horse's health. I have one too, and you're always wondering whether you're feeding your horse the right thing or not, or too much of this or too much of that, or too little of this or too little of that. Well, FeedXL does all the smart stuff it takes to formulate and balance a horse's diet. It's basically a computer program. You hop on their website at feedxl.com, and you put in the information about your horse and what you're feeding your horse, and it spits out details about your horse and what you feed him. FeedXL does some serious math to calculate if your horse's nutritional requirements are being met. You can see those results displayed in numerous ways, including easy-to-read graphs that highlight the excesses and the deficiencies in your horse's diet. And then you can go make adjustments to your horse's diet, come back in a couple of months, check it again. You can learn more about equine nutrition and how to feed your horse for the ultimate performance by visiting the FeedXL Learning Center at feedxl.com. Stop by, check it out. You'll probably end up saving money just by going to feedxl.com. Well, hi, Jackie, and welcome back to Horse Tip Daily.
Hi, Glenn. It's good to be back.
It's always good to talk to you, and it's always fun because you're talking about something that I'm so passionate about. So, and that's website design and doing it better, blog, and, for horse people. Because, we don't horse people don't get any training in this. Unless you have a hubby that's a geek, you're not getting any training in this. You're just looking at other people's and you're just giving it a shot. So I hope we can help people out. What are we going to help with today?
Today we are going to talk about what to do when you get stuck in a blogging rut, and it happens to all of us.
Yes, we do. We go, okay, I really should blog. I haven't done it in 2 weeks, but I have nothing to say.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been there, done that.
I like to call it, I lose my blogging mojo.
Well, you know what happens too? You get busy, you're doing other stuff.
Exactly.
And what's ironic about it, though, and tell me if I'm wrong here, what's ironic about it is usually you don't blog because you are busy and you're doing other stuff.
Yes.
And the ironic part about it is the stuff you're busy doing would make a good blog post.
Yes. A lot of the times that is very true.
All right,
very true. Okay, first couple things to do. I kind of have 3 top tips, and then just a few other. But the first one, for me, when I get stuck and I just can't think of what I feel like writing about, or I've been, too busy that I feel like I'm in a rut, I go out to the barn and ride my horse. Because you know what? Being out around those animals, working with them and loving on them and being around other horse people is some of the best inspiration. When I've had a little bit of good horse time, that's when I feel like coming back to my computer and writing about horses. So go away from the computer a little bit, play with your horse, and then come back and try to write something. My second tip would be to subscribe to Google Alerts, and these are very, very cool. What Google Alerts are is they give you the ability to sign up to get email notifications when websites talk about certain topics. So, for instance, you can go to google.com/alerts and, type in keywords for some of the topics that you write about, give them your email address. So I have them set up for dressage and show jumping and United States Equestrian Federation and, World Equestrian Games. And so what happens is I get an email every day that gives me a list of all of the websites and blogs that have talked about those topics. So it's a really great way to find information and get inspiration on stuff that you're writing about on your blog, topics that you try to cover. And it's also a really great way to stay on top of the news. So you can see what's fresh, you can see what people are talking about, and sometimes you can even get the scoop on a topic before it goes across the wider web. So Google Alerts are a really fantastic tool for getting ideas for writing.
I get about 100. I get about 100 of them a day.
Yep.
I
don't actually. I've been doing pretty well with my blogging, so I haven't been reading them that much. But when I get stuck, that's the first place I go.
And of course, we have so many different shows that we have to keep an eye on all the news, and that's just the easiest way to do it.
Yep. And you can also set up a Google alert for your website. So I have one set for regardinghorses.com, and so every week I get a notification saying, here are all of the websites that have mentioned my website. And so I can go out and see who's linking to me and who's talking about me that way.
I know. We can't get away with anything.
Tool.
We're always trashing you over there on our sites, and you're finding it all the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
I catch you every time. And I would say, a third really good tip is just to be aware of what's going on in the equestrian industry and blogosphere. If you write specifically about eventing or about reining, know when the really big events are. If you're a Western rider, be sure you write about Congress in the fall. Write about the World Equestrian Games, write about the Olympics when they come around, write about Rolex in the spring. Target those major events in time. So know what's going on. And Google Alerts will help with this, but if you're reading other blogs and you're subscribed to other horse blogs, you'll start to get a sense for what some of the major conversations are at the time, and what people are discussing and talking about and interested in. And so you can get ideas from other blogs of stuff to write on. Say somebody writes a really good article that you like about some major, horse issue or, a how-to or something. Respond to that on your blog and say, hey, here's what this other blogger was talking about. I think it's great. Here's what I have to add to the discussion. So that's another really great way to get your mojo back and find some topics to write about.
Cool. Very good. Well, and just, it's like the comics. It's like the very good comics out there. You just keep your eyes open. Everything you do every day, you think about, how could I write about that? And sometimes we overlook the simple everyday things, and that's something you do on your blog really well, is there are times I've noticed that you're just observing life and you went, oh, I could write about that. And that's, and it's the stuff we overlook every day,
Yeah.
And sometimes they make the best articles. They make the best things.
Yeah, some of the best articles I have that people come and read and comment on the most are ones that I've written in response to what I'm experiencing or learning currently with my own horse.
Yep.
So, for instance, I was trying to figure out the basic dressage movements to start it because I come from a jumping background and all that renvers, travers, shoulders and stuff was confusing. And so when I finally figured it out, I thought, hey, I bet there's a bunch of other people out there wondering the exact same thing. So I wrote up a post explaining, hey, here's basically what all of these movements are for everybody else like me who just didn't get it. And, that's the most popular post on my blog, and it was just in response to what I had been currently learning myself.
Very good, Jackie. You're all full of good stuff. Well, tell people how they can find your blog.
My blog is regardinghorses.com. You can also look us up on Facebook. We've got a fan page on there for Regarding Horses. We have some fun conversations there. And if you're interested in other website marketing topics, you can find my company at sitelogic.com.
All right, very good. Thank you, Jackie. We'll have you back again soon.
All right, thanks, Glenn.
Well, thanks again to Jackie for joining us. We really appreciate her being on the network with us on a variety of shows. She stops in occasionally, and it was so nice to have her over here during the World Equestrian Games and to hang out with her, watching some of the events. That was a lot of fun. Thank you, Jackie. We appreciated you being here. Well, everybody, we'll be back again tomorrow with another new expert and a different horse tip. Until then, stay safe, everyone. Wear that helmet.
The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements of guests or their opinions. Use your own judgment when listening to the tips provided by the experts on Horse Tip Daily.